could join me. It's Anne at Life LDC. I'm just going to have a cup of tea and we can catch up on what's been happening around here. 2018, I can't believe it. It just seems like a couple of years ago it was the millennium. I've been knitting for a long time. I started crocheting. Crocheting was what made me venture out into the world of YouTube last year. I did YouTube demonstrations for the Rowan 2017 crochet along. Thank you to everybody who watched those videos, and I thank you for all of the wonderful comments that you gave me to encourage me to keep going. I sort of fell off the bandwagon. I'm not quite finished. I've still got the last two bands to crochet and so on, but I will do that, and I'm really glad I was able to help you with that. My first passion is, of course, knitting. So I am going to focus a little bit more on knitting this year. This video is to sort of lay down my intentions for 2018. I'm not going to do you know, resolutions. Do you do resolutions? Do you ever finish? Do you ever hold steadfast to your resolutions? No. I'm not going to say I'm going to lose weight. I'm not going to say, even more drastic, I am not going to say I'm going to only knit from stash this year. I do have a significant stash, so I will be knitting from stash, but I am never ever going to say to you that I'm never going to buy another ball of yarn this year. No, 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 can't do it. But I do have some intentions, and part of the reason why I'm trying to focus on intentions is because this is a big significant year for me. I'm turning the big seniors, official seniors age, and that is sort of a scary moment. I never minded the big 0 birthdays, 30, 40, 50, didn't mind them, didn't even really mind 60, but the big 6, 5, yes. It's making me think about my life with intention. So one of the things that I decided this year to do is I'm going to try and be a little bit more creative and casually creative in my life. I'm going to try and implement more creativity, and as long as I have knitting, of course, that's always going to be part of it. So I will always be knitting. You know I'm always going to be knitting. And Fair Isle has always been a big part of my knitting repertoire technique. I love Fair Isle knitting. So this year I'm going to devote to sorting out all my Fair Isle projects. I have a few that are on the needles that need to be finished. I showed you my Fair Isle Club, Marie Wallin Fair Isle Club 1 blanket in my first coffee table update. I haven't touched it, so I have 6 squares of that to do. I have the Fair Isle Club number 3 to do, which I joined up in a heartbeat when that came up to be. I'll just show it to you. When you were able to sign up for this, I signed up in a flash, and I'll just show you. I'm knitting away on it. It's quite beautiful. It needs a little bit of a steam to really show off how absolutely gorgeous it is. When it's first knit like this, it puckers just a tiny bit. But when it is steamed or blocked, it'll have a nice flat finish like my Marie Wallin Fair Isle cushion. So, Fair Isle. Yes, I have a long history of Fair Isle. I'll just sit back down again. I have a long history of Fair Isle. I sold Jameson's Shetland Spindrift yarns for many years under my website was called She You Knits. And because I was selling it, I knit every single one of the Fair Isles that came out in their different books at the time. I love this one. Wear it quite a bit. Oh, this was one Autumn Rose. Everybody was knitting Autumn Rose when this came out. Uni Zhang. Some shaping, really deep neckline, totally different, totally untraditional 3/4 length sleeves, very, very fitted fit, no ease at all. I think she actually recommended negative ease, and you also had to wear a camisole underneath it. I love that. I love the colors. Don't wear it very often, though, I must admit, because I actually like wearing it with a big long brown skirt, which I do not wear very often. I also delved into the designer world of Fair Isle, and I did this for the Simply Shetland company, who is the distributor of Jamieson's yarns in North America. And you'll still see it when you go to especially Canadian knitting places. So there's a couple of vendors that still offer kits for this. It was designed to be sort of like an oversized kimono type effect, big sleeves, supposed to have an awful lot of ease. The picture on the pattern doesn't really show that, but I love this. Easy to recolor if you want. I think there's only 5 colors in it. That was sort of my goal back then, was to not go crazy with colors and make it very relatively simple for people to recolor. So I do have sort of a background in Fair Isle. So I am going to get back into Fair Isle more this year. More. That's all I knit anyway, right? Knitting here, knitting there. I'm also going to try and implement knitting into my wardrobe. Yes, I've got a lovely sweater on today. A little bit of Fair Isle on the bottom. A little bit of Intarsia Fair Isle here on the front pieces. Love this. This is by Marie Wallin. Amaryllis, I think it's called. It's on one of the front of one of her books. Springtime, I think. I'm thinking here. Should have brought it with me. But so I really, really do love Fair Isle. I also love Rowan yarns, and they do a lot of Fair Isle. So my stash is mostly, I would say 90% Rowan, and not too much Jamieson's anymore, but I do have 2 big bags of leftovers from all the knitting that I did with Jamieson's, but I sort of seriously destashed that when I closed down my business. So it was nice to get back into knitting Jamieson's with the Fair Isle Club 3. The first 2 Fair Isle Clubs, they were done in Rowan felted tweed, huge blankets. Haven't finished number 1, as I said. Number 2, I haven't even started, haven't even attempted to start. I sort of reined myself in there. But Fair Isle 3, I'm staying on track for the next video release, which is, I think, on the 22nd of January. So I should be up to the shoulders by then and ready to go with that. So trying to incorporate knitting into my wardrobe and being a little bit more conscious of my wardrobe and purchases is another thing I'd really like to do this year. So for example, I really hate to see something like this sitting in my closet. This is a beautiful design by Marie. Tunic length. I absolutely love it. It's quite long. I'm holding it up to my shoulder so you can see it is quite long. But I don't wear it as often as I should, because every time I put it on, these shoulders stick out and they annoy me. Now this is a design from Rowan's 48. Beautiful, beautiful book. This had the Russian doll story in it. Gorgeous, gorgeous designs. Case Lydia. A lot of people have knit that. A lot of people have knit this. Dominica. I had the yarn for this at one time, but I sold it. It's one of my problems. I buy the yarn and then I sell it. And I really want to knit this coat by, I believe it's Martin. Yeah, Kid Classic, Martin Storey. Anyway, the one I knit out of this collection was Anastasiya. And you can see on the picture, and I'll just hold it up there. There's one, and there's the other one. And you can see her hair sort of holds down the shoulders. And of course she's petite. I'm not quite so petite. I'm 5'10", and probably if I was making resolutions, one of my resolutions would be to lose weight, but I'm not going to make resolutions, remember? And I'm not really going to worry about losing weight because, heck, healthy, happy, not going to stress about it too much. Anyway, but I would love to wear this more often because I do wear it. I wear it and it hangs out of the bottom of jackets and people say, oh, that's beautiful, you know, but I never sort of whip the thing off and show them because I hate these shoulders. So there's a couple of things in my knit wardrobe that I love. They sit in the closet. I never wear them for one reason or the other. Mostly it's necklines. So I think we need to sort this out. I've already done one chop job on this. When I first knitted, I made the neckline lower because, excuse me, I'm just looking to see where I'm pointing. I made the neckline lower because it looked too high on the model. Well, it's probably the extra small size, right? On mine, I should have just left it alone because when I adjusted it, the neckline was way too long and it looked really odd, especially with these shoulders. So I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to restyle it because of today's, you know, the boxy style. So I'm going to take this piece that's extra above the body. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to sew up the seam, the side seam, and I'm going to make it a narrow, boxier size. And then I'm going to pick up stitches and I'm going to knit down the narrow sleeves that are more in fashion now. The old-fashioned, quote, old-fashioned, older ferrules tended to have deeper sleeves. You can see how deep these are. And so I'm going to modify my Anastasiya to be more like my Mary. You can see how narrow the sleeve is on my Mary compared to this. That's a good 3 inches. So 6 inches in total taken off the sleeve. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to modify my amaryllis to have a narrow sleeve depth like Mary. So that means I'm going to sew it right up to there. Almost the top of this rose band. I think I might aim for here, the top of the green. And knit the sleeves down in this dark navy color and probably put the stripes in the bottom. So modifications are going to be part of my repertoire this year. So just to show you what I have been up to in the last little while, in addition to my ferrule club knitting, I don't know if I mentioned this in my tabletop update, my first tabletop update. Cute little easy ferrule. This is from Martin Storey Easy Ferrule Knits, which is coming to the North American market, so keep an eye at your yarn store for that. I love this. Cute little, very simple to knit if you want to start or try knitting ferrule. And I'm always amazed at how many people say they're scared. Oh my goodness, it looks like so much, you know, ends, and how do you keep it all straight? This would be a great project. I also did these beautiful mittens, stranded ferrule mittens. They're from Marie Wallin's Shetland collection. This is the first collection book that she has done, not in Rowan yarn. She's now independent. She still does use Rowan yarns most of the time, but this is her first collection for Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift yarn, and the designs are absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if I can flick through that you can see them. And her model, Georgia, she's, you know, I love this. You'll notice I'm attracted to these things that have these short, now this might be totally different. I'd have to make it bigger, and I love the side pieces. But also somebody on Ravelry did that with sleeves, and I think that's probably what gave me the idea of changing my amaryllis and putting sleeves on it. Nice cowl. Beautiful, love this one. Couple of two color ones. This yell is very similar to the Fair Isle 3 Club garment. Anyway, as you can see, beautiful book. I did these mittens out of it because I couldn't jump into a sweater out of here because I am busy with my Fair Isle 3, but working as a group, we are getting through Fair Isle 3 perfectly, and it's keeping me on track. Another thing that I finished, another cute little project. Cute little projects are like little palette cleansers. They, you know, you can knit them. You can stop what you're doing and you can knit something cute up, and it fulfills, you know, a little bit of a, oh, I need something new. Well, as a Rowan ambassador, they send me things, and they sent me this pom-pom. How cute is that? Like, look how cute that is. It's beautiful. And I decided to take my Sophia yak from my Hilda's coat and make a hat to match, because this gray is very similar to the gray in the coat. I'm going to put this on. I might regret this. I'll probably stick a couple of pictures in here because I took some really good pictures of this hat and this pom-pom. must adjust the camera height next time. Anyway, cute hat, lovely pom-pom. Very disappointed that these pom-poms are not available to the North American market. The North American distributor of Rowan decided that North Americans wouldn't spend this much money on this beautiful pom-pom. And I gather, yes, they are expensive, especially when you can get really cheap pom-poms on Amazon. But I'm sorry, the really cheap pom-poms on Amazon look like really cheap pom-poms from Amazon. These are absolutely gorgeous. They're fake. They have beautiful tips on them. They blow in the wind. They are spectacular. So if you really want one, order it from a UK or a European stockist. We'd had quite a bit of fresh snow, and there were still tiny flakes falling. You can see them there on the pom-pom. It was a beautiful winter day. I bet as a knitter, you are asked all the time, would you please knit something? Oh, I love your hat, would you please knit one for me? Or I love your scarf, would you please knit one for me? I get that too, and I always say, sorry, no, but I will teach you how to knit. And you know, in all these years, not one person has taken me up on that offer to teach them how to knit. I'm actually astounded, because if back when I first started, my mother taught me to knit, and then when I was an adult, I took all the classes I could and learned different things to the point where my mother was astounded when I would bring stuff to her place and show her. So I'm always amazed when nobody takes me up on my offer to teach them how to knit. So one thing I thought about this this whole YouTube thing was when last year when I did the demonstration videos for the crochet club or the crochet project, I was quite amazed at how much how much you can transfer by the great YouTube world, the video world. And so I thought maybe, just maybe, I could say to all the people who, when they see my Fair Isle pictures on Instagram, oh my goodness, I'd love to learn how to do that. Oh, you know, hey, if you can knit and purl, mostly knit actually when it comes to Fair Isle, you can do stranded, aka Fair Isle knitting. And so my intention this year is to share with you Fair Isle, how I do it, the little tips and tricks that I have, how I strand a crop. Excuse me, I have to have a little sip of my tea here. When I'm watching other video diaries or video blogs or whatever, everybody's always showing what they've bought, and I sort of, I'm not sure if I really want to encourage you to buy more stuff, because I find it does encourage me to buy things. But one thing I did do, I was on a recent trip to the UK, went to Marie Wallin workshop, had a great time. The project there was, of course, Fair Isle, and it's going to match my Fair Isle cushion. This is another cushion, and I'm going to make sure that this is finished for next year, so that I can have matching cushions on either side of my couch. And I'll just show you. I wonder if there's a big picture of it here. Ah, yes, there is. It's the Fair Isle abstract cushion, and it is done in pieces. You knit up this piece, and then you pick up and knit this. Oh no, sorry, you don't. You start with this piece, and anyway, never mind. You'd have to see it to believe it. Anyway, sorry. It's an abstract cushion, so it's bits and pieces, and you'll have to see. I've got some fabric for the back, got a nice down insert, and stuffed it up. I love it, but I have to watch. The dogs love it too, and as much as I love them, I don't like them really sleeping on this. Aren't I terrible? Anyway, so I have to finish this. And I did a little bit of shopping while I was there, and I did it because, number one, I went with my knitting friend who I visit while I'm there. We went to her local yarn store, which is the Oxford Yarn Store, and they had this beautiful Kid Silk Haze scarf knitted up. I love the colors, green and blue, my colors, love it. One of the shades is discontinued. I can't resist a discontinued shade. And so I bought this, not really sure if I'm going to make the scarf that is that the pattern is for, because the pattern's in there. There's something in the most recent, the winter Rowan magazine that I might knit with this, but I'll decide. Who knows? Things change. The workshop was held at Little Grey Sheep, the farm of Little Grey Sheep in Hampshire. Gorgeous, gorgeous countryside, absolutely spectacular venue for a workshop, and beautiful yarn. And we stuck to our workshop project for the first 2 days, but then you could see everybody was getting itchy, and we just started to shop. So one of the colors that was in that cushion project is this blue, and I absolutely love this blue. Look at it. It is so amazing. And actually it's bluer on the screen. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's more of a greeny blue. Absolutely gorgeous. And I think it is called Perfect Storm. Love it. So I couldn't resist. I got some of that while I was there. Just a couple of hanks. I actually bought it right off the drawing rack. Emma from Little Grey Sheep's like, I'm like, can I buy that? She says, well, sure. I got this little taster mini skein set of Hampshire 4-ply, and I thought I might work some little bit of color work in with this. Or I couldn't resist, and this is what Emma is sort of known for. Little Grey Sheep is for the British Gotland 4-ply. This is called chocolate mud cake. I keep thinking it's just chocolate mud cake, but it's chocolate mud cake. And I'm wondering if some mud cake and these colors might go together for a sweater. I'm not really sure. What do you think? I love this brown. Absolutely love this brown. It's been quite a few years since I've knit brown, but you can see maybe brown's making it come back in my wardrobe. Not sure what I'm going to do with this. Originally I was going to knit a very textured twisted stitch design, but I'm wondering if maybe I should knit something really plain in this, because then it would let the beautiful luster and texture of this yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous. And that was, oh, I did buy some Chigu needles. Got some patterns. Obviously Marie. So I think that's about it. Oh, I wanted to say, if you are a Martin Storey fan and you are on Ravelry or Instagram or Facebook, you'll have noticed that he's announced that he's setting up his own website. I'm so excited about that, because maybe we'll see something new from Martin on there. The new Rowan Spring Summer Season information I've got here, I can't release yet, but I will be making a video to review that, so that will be coming up soon. Life LDC stands for Life with Lackey and Daisy. They're both sound asleep. Usually they come and visit me here while I'm sitting here, but this is, let me see, it's 1:45, and this is their sleepy time. They usually wake up about 2 and start wanting to go in and out and in and out, and then we go WALK, can't say the word, and then it's time for dinner and, you know, playtime and whatever. But they tend to sleep during the day quite a bit. So anyway, so Life Lackadaisical, Life LDC for short, is the name of my YouTube channel. It's the name of my Instagram account. And my Facebook page is Life Lackadaisical, and my Ravelry name is Life Lackadaisical. So I hope you pick the venue that you like and follow me there, or if you just want to watch YouTube videos. And I have to say, I am sort of addicted to these video blogs. I've got some favorites. Everybody's watching Fruity Knitting, because it's like, that's like an online knitting magazine, video knitting magazine, all the interviews she does and the knitting she does. And I watch Christy Glass Knits just because she's in New York. She's got her finger on the pulse of what's happening in the new indie scene. I'm really not into speckles, I gotta tell you. I'm not into speckles, but fade is sort of growing on me. The fade is sort of growing on me. So I've got a little plan for a fade thing. Watch this space. Might do a little fading here. And oh, who else do I watch? Oh, Camabornia. Love Camabornia. They don't do too many, because of course they've got the language issue to deal with, and translation and all that kind of stuff. I give them credit. It's really, really, I tell you, intimidating to put yourself out there on video. It's bad enough to take pictures for Ravelry. People always chop their heads off and they don't want to be seen. but to sit in front of a camera and sort of spill everything out and open yourself up to people going, oh gosh, do you see that? You know, it's scary stuff. So I really admire everybody who does video blogging or vlogging or whatever it is. I have blogged for years. I blogged a lot to do with my business. I blogged to do with my knitting. I obviously like talking about knitting, and so I just decided, what the heck, I'll give it a go, and I'm committing to this year to see where this takes me, if it's something that I can provide anything out there that's of interest to anybody. We'll see. Feral knitting. I think there might be a few people interested. I hope to hear from you, because that is what my focus is going to be this year. Okay? So until next time,